I'm going to share the secret to 10x your injury rehab. By the end of this video, you'll be able to use this with your own injury to speed up recovery and get back to training and competing in your sport. So what's the magical secret? Well, you want to do as much as possible while you're injured. Now, this sounds a little bit counterintuitive because when you think about an injury, you think about resting, waiting, and then suddenly your pain goes away. And this is where so many people go wrong. Let me use Bob as an example. Bob is a made-up client of mine, and Bob is a powerlifter who's come to me with knee pain. Bob trains 4 days a week and he does an upper-lower split. So he does 2 days of body work and then he does 2 days of legs. But now Bob's got knee pain, he completely avoids his lower body sessions. So he's gone all out gym bro. All he does is bench press and he just prays to the gods that his knee pain will somehow heal and one day it'll just miraculously be gone. The funny thing is, the opposite actually happens. While Bob is benching 4 days a week, getting a huge chest, all of his leg muscles are atrophying, which is just a posh way of saying he's losing muscle mass. So he's losing mass in his quads, his hamstring, his calves, his adductors, his glutes. So if Bob's leg muscles are getting smaller and less strong and he's got less capacity, how is his knee pain going to improve? Well, it's a trick question because it's not. It's potentially going to get worse because he's not training his leg muscles. So the secret, how can Bob continue to train his legs without aggravating his knee pain? I'm going to take you through a quick 2-step process that you can use on any injury and that will allow you to train the injured area without aggravating it to maintain muscle mass or at least mitigate the damage. The first thing to bear in mind before we go into the 2-step process is the pain score. So imagine you've got a scale of 0 to 10 and 10 is the worst pain imaginable and 0 is nothing. When you're doing rehab and you've got pain in a particular area, so in Bob's case at his knee, we don't want that pain to go above a 3 out of 10. So a little bit of pain is okay. Anything above a 3, you want to change the exercise, decrease the weight, decrease the sets, decrease the reps, so you can get back into that range. So the simple 2-step process. First step, we need to identify what type of movement is causing the pain. So again, using Bob as an example, let's say he was getting his knee pain from squatting. A squat is a compound movement. So we've got a scale. On one end, we've got all of your compound movements. And as we move down the scale, they get less and less compound. So a compound movement is a multi-joint movement, like a squat, a deadlift, a bench press, anything where you're using a lot of different muscle groups. At the other end, we've got single joint movements, which are things that you typically see bodybuilders doing. So like hamstring curls, quad extensions. If Bob is getting knee pain from back squatting, what we want to do is move Bob down the other end of the scale. So Bob could go jump on the leg extension machine or do some hamstring curls, and this might reduce his knee pain and allow him to work within that 0 to 3 out of 10 pain score range, but actually maintain some quad and hamstring muscle mass. The second step of the process is contraction type. This sounds a lot more complex than it is, but with muscles, we've got 3 types of contractions. We've got concentric, eccentric, and isometric. Concentric is the muscle shortening, eccentric is the muscle lengthening, and isometric, the muscle is not moving. When we get pain or an injury, concentric and eccentric, so movement at the muscle, is going to be quite irritable. Again, using Bob as the example, if Bob goes and jumps on the leg extension machine, he starts doing 3 sets of 15 reps on the leg extension, and he's knocked the weight all the way to the bottom, but he's still getting knee pain that's above a 3 out of 10. Well, the best place for Bob to go to there is to start off with some isometrics. He could jump on the quad extension machine and just do an isometric hold for 30 to 45 seconds with a challenging weight, do 3 to 4 sets of that. The isometric movement allows you, again, to still train the leg muscles, the muscle group, without irritating it. Once Bob has done these isometric holds for a few weeks, then he might be able to reintroduce some active movement, so just some normal quad extensions or normal hamstring curls. You can use this 2-step process with any injury, and it will allow you to train that same muscle group to maintain some muscle mass, some strength, some capacity in that area, or at least mitigate the damage. So you could do this with a lower back injury, you could do this with a shoulder injury. So now in Bob's 4-day split, he can go in and he can do his 2 upper body sessions, get big there, but then he can actually also train his legs. He's going to improve his rate of recovery because he's not going to have chicken legs and he can get back to back squatting at a faster rate. If you're struggling with knee pain or any other injury for that matter, check out the link in the description with what I offer with online injury rehab.